unbelievable. This is a spokesman for President Vladimir Putin is making these statements. First, put a shout out for Noble Gold. That's right, Noble Gold. You see that coin? That's 1/10 of an ounce pure gold coin, American Eagle coin. It can be yours for free if you simply set up a gold or silver IRA or roll over a 401k. If you qualify, and you probably do, you can get this 1/10 of an ounce gold coin worth over $500. It can be yours if you act now, okay, at www.pastorpaulgold.com. Matter of fact, let me just tell you what they're saying. They're saying that new numbers out of Washington show the inflation's on the rise, and this crisis, this war going on in the Middle East ain't helping. And another threat is your savings account and your retirement accounts. You can ask yourself an honest question. Does your money go as far as it did 10 years ago? No. How about 5 years ago? No. Even last year? I mean, so what does the next decade look like? And how's your savings or your retirement funds? If your portfolio is lacking exposure to precious metals like gold or silver, you need to rethink it. Gold, a biblical currency. It's one of the most reliable economic currencies ever. And it's also keeps up with inflation. Matter of fact, it outpaces inflation a lot of times. So my friends over at Noble Gold can help you. Just go to www.pastorpaulgold.com. Click on the link below the video. Go to www.pastorpaulgold.com or call them on the phone at 877-646-5347 and tell them that Pastor Paul sent you there. All right, well, here's what I am going to say. Here we go. The Kremlin says it's the end of the world, and that the end of the world is upon us because we have never lived through something worse, according to Dmitry Peskov. And I'm not saying that he's Pezoved, but he is Dmitry Peskov. And here's what he is saying. Vladimir Putin's spokesman has addressed the growing fear that the end of the world is upon us, with most people having never lived through a worse time. Dmitry Peskov also hit out at breakdown in international law as massive U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran continue in an onslaught that the Kremlin has labeled the perfect storm. Okay, Russia appears helpless to assist Iran, except possibly provide some intelligence on American and Israeli military positions. Putin's mouthpiece said today, there has never been a time worse than this in human history. But we haven't, and we weren't alive if it was. So it seems to us that the end of the world is truly upon us. And amid the war in the Middle East and Russia's continued 4-year war with Ukraine, Putin, who illegally invaded Ukraine 4 years ago, believes we have all lost what we call international law, according to Peskov. To be honest, I don't even understand how anyone can call on others to follow the norms of the principles of international law because it no longer exists. So he's trying to say there's been a total breakdown of the status quo and that there is no international agenda, or I should say international order at all. And that's wrong. But they want you to believe that because they have no intentions of walking away from Ukraine, just like Mike from Around the World said. Mike said it in 2014. He said, Paul, once Russia gets their foot in the door, they will never leave Ukraine. They're never going to leave till they take the whole country. And here we are, 12 years later, 4 years of a horrible war, and Russia hasn't left yet. And it's very unlikely that anyone can now formulate what law has replaced the current or what was the international law, according to Peskov. No one can provide a clear definition, and the Russian dictator said, therefore, Putin is correct. Against the backdrop of the perfect storm that has now begun, we need to focus on ourselves, our interests, and our potential. Where it is lacking, we need to build it up, think carefully, and remain focused, he said. Today, Putin pledged unwavering support to Iran's new supreme leader, the Ayatollah Mosabbeh Khamenei, appointed after his father, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and predecessor was killed in the U.S.-Israeli strikes. I would like to reaffirm our unwavering support for Iran and solidarity with our Iranian friends, Putin said in a message to the new Khamenei, adding that Russia has been and will always remain a reliable partner to Iran. And at a time when Iran is confronting armed aggression, your tenure in this high position will undoubtedly require great courage and dedication, according to the Russian leader. It comes as a war in the Middle East caused an enormous spike in the price of oil at the cost of a barrel as it rocketed over $100 a barrel. And the emergency meeting of the G7 has been called for today, where firefighting options include the release of oil reserves by the Americans who have been held back since this was discussed. The main issue is the near total closure of the Straits of Hormuz, through which around a fifth of the world's oil travels, which means major uncertainty hangs over short-term supply. Also, Iran's Revolutionary Guard has threatened to set ablaze any Western tanker that attempts to navigate the Straits of Hormuz, and hundreds of ships laden with oil, as well as liquefied natural gas, have amassed all over the Straits of Hormuz. They're afraid to go through the Straits of Hormuz. For the first time since the war broke out, the effect of this disruption was felt reflected very acutely in the markets when the price of a barrel of crude oil shot up 24%. It took just a minute for the price to rise by 10%. 15 minutes, it went up another 10%. And now it's beyond $100 a barrel. The last time that happened was the early days of Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Now, gas prices at the pump are also likely to spike as the higher cost filters through and filters down to the consumers. UK Chancellor Rachel Reeves will attend an emergency meeting of the G7 finance ministers in France. The ripples from the war in the Middle East are already being felt in Europe, with rising energy prices and NATO alliances targeted. European Union Chief Ursula von der Leyen said, quote, "We are now seeing a regional conflict with unintended consequences, and the spillover is already a reality today." The European Commission president told the EU ambassadors ahead of a midday call with the Middle Eastern leaders, "Our citizens are caught in the crossfire. Our partners are being attacked," citing Iranian-made drone hitting the British base in the European Union, Cyprus. Trade disruptions and displacement of people has begun. And while Iran has not officially shut off the Straits of Hormuz, ships are afraid to go through the strait for fear they'll be shot out of the water or set ablaze. So the people of Iran desire freedom, he said, dignity, and the right to decide their own future, even if we know this will be met with danger and instability during and after the war. So he goes on and on. So basically, the Kremlin is blaming President Trump for the world's economic insecurities, and Russia's taking no accountability for their attack on Ukraine. And it's just like the Bible said, we're going to have wars and rumors of wars. And what's amazing is the very nations that are mentioned in Ezekiel 38 are the very nations involved in the conflict in the Middle East, and Russia is involved in both the Middle East and Europe. Um, keep your eye on China, keep your eye on North Korea, keep your eye on um, what may develop yet in Europe with Russia and the NATO nations. And also just keep an eye. Trump is wanting to end the war. He said that today. He said it's very close to ending. Yet Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said we've only begun the campaign. So with these conflicting reports and oil going up, Iran on the run, Trump's not going to accept this new Ayatollah's son. He's not going to accept him. So where do we go from here? Oh, I'll stay on top of it. Matter of fact, all of this is happening during an alien disclosure period. Alien disclosure. And actually, Mike Around the World last Thursday tied the Iranian war to the alien disclosure. They're linked on spiritual level, on a financial level, on a personal level, on a level then prophetically. Alien disclosure is going to happen while the world is in this turmoil, while the term end of the world by the Kremlin, while the terminology of the nuclear holocaust is being discussed. This is why we're covering it. Our webinar starts, guys, in 10 days. If you don't have a ticket yet, you can get it right now. Go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. Get your ticket for this most important webinar, maybe of the year, called Alien Disclosure. Just go right now to paulbegleyprophecy.com. As soon as you go there, it pops up on the screen. The banner's there. It's ready for you. The speakers are amazing. L.A. Marzulli, Stan Deyo, Mike Around the World, Stephen Bassett, Samuel Chung, Laura Eisenhower, Bart Begley's documentary. I'm in this, of course. Paul Jr. helps me out on a couple interviews. And there's other speakers we're adding. So get your ticket now. Get your ticket right now. Go to paulbegleyprophecy.com. paulbegleyprophecy.com. Get your ticket for Alien Disclosure. It will be released on Friday night, March 20th. Friday night, March 20th. Get your tickets. Guys, I appreciate all your support in the India Crusade. Thank you, and keep giving toward that. Get your tickets, though. I'm going to say that now. You really should get your tickets for this alien disclosure. All right? I'll be back with more breaking news as it develops. We're truly living in the last days. And the crusades in India are starting in 48 hours. Okay? In 48 hours. The first one is March 12th, and then March 13th, March 14th, March 15th, and March 16th. 5 straight days, 5 crusades, 5 different locations. It's going to be amazing. Salvation Station is coming to India. God bless. Are you serious? Yes.